something was here. He couldn't see it, hear it, or smell it, but he knew something was here. Only it didn't feel like it should be. It felt unnatural. The presence felt intrusive, more than just foreign. It felt unknown. It was as if everything in the world was made before this creature was even considered, but it forced its way in despite the dissent against it, and soulless eyes that bore into him. The only thing seeable in those eyes was the boy's own reflection, as if it wished to make Corey aware just how frightened and alone he appeared. A painful crack echoed throughout the woods. The guard's face became flattened as the bone that gave it its shape broke apart. Jutted fragments split through the skin. His nose was split open by the heavy blows, revealing chunks of mucus and blood. It began to pool from the guard until his face became a thick stew of viscera, teeth, and bone. Twitches shuddered throughout the brutalized body. The devil stabbed his fingers and hooked his nails deep into the remains of flesh. He tugged and pulled until the skin ripped and tore open, revealing spasming, convulsing muscles with spurts of blood coating the cadaver. Bits of skin hung over the bloodbath like torn curtains. The pulpy carnage spilled out onto the grass, covering the emerald green turf in a chunky layer of carnage. The air itself seemed to lash at his skin, licking it with serrated blades, cutting him open. He felt a weight that splintered his bones and stretched his cuts wider, tugging his flesh from the muscle and skinning his thew from the bone. Invisible hands wrenched open his ribs, diving into his nerves, snapping, chewing. He was drowning, burning, freezing, and starving, yet being filled. However, all of this was simply within his mind. Physically, he was intact. Was this real? Or was that hell his truth? Is he dead? The smoke practically filled the streets. But he could hear, he could hear all too well, because when the tavern's night folk retired and went home, the streets and what occurred on them blared to his ears. He heard everything. The boots of patrols moving through, the shouting of citizens being taken away, the slick sound of metal raking across skin, something that slithered through the fog, a sizzling hiss followed by a roar of air turning into a crisp popping sound. Corey heard every scream that would leave the victim as their flesh burned and their blood boiled. He heard a dozen last words before their dying gasp joined the smoke-worn air.